It was just another Friday. The kind of day everyone looks forward to, close to the weekend, with spring break just around the corner. I was sitting in calculus class, trying to stay awake as Mr. Moore, our laid-back teacher, played a brand logo quiz with the class. Laughter filled the room, and everyone seemed relaxed. But then the loudspeaker crackled, cutting through the calm. The dean's voice was different this time, panicked, urgent. Lockdown, now. The words didn't make sense at first. Lockdown? Was this a drill? Mr. Moore rushed to the windows, pulling the blinds down quickly, his face pale. The classroom went silent. We all looked at each other, unsure of what to do. The lights were turned off, and we crouched in the corner, listening. That's when we heard it, loud bangs from the hallway, followed by a man shouting, "I'll kill all of you!" The room froze. There was no mistaking it now. This was real. Panic set in as the noise got closer, closer. Some of the girls began to cry, their hands shaking. The door rattled. He was right outside. "Open up!" he screamed. "Let me in!" The class held their breath, not daring to move. The sounds of the man banging on the door were deafening. It felt like every hit echoed through my entire body. The girls were sobbing, some muttering prayers under their breath, others clutching each other in terror. We sat there in the dark, the only light coming from the faint glow of the emergency exit sign. Minutes stretched into what felt like hours. Time was distorted, the heavy sound of the man's shouts and pounding on the door drowning out all other thoughts. The tension was unbearable. The smell of fear was in the air, thick and suffocating. Just when it seemed like we couldn't take it anymore, the noise stopped. The door was silent. We waited in complete stillness, not knowing what to expect. The heavy silence seemed like it would never end. Eventually the dean's voice crackled over the loudspeaker again, announcing that the threat had passed. He explained that a mentally unstable man had entered the building, assaulted the woman at the front desk, and fled. The staff had conducted a search and couldn't find him. We were told the lockdown was lifted, but to stay in our classrooms and keep the doors locked. It wasn't until later that we learned the man had been found in a janitor's closet, allegedly with a .44 Magnum in his pocket. To this day, I still don't know what happened to him, whether he was arrested or got the help he needed. But I'll never forget that fear, that feeling of helplessness, or how quickly everything turned into chaos. Before we get into the next story, if you come for the first time, please make sure to subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon for upcoming scary stories. We need your support. Please share these stories with your friends and family. Thanks. On a cold, rainy afternoon, a lockdown alarm went off at a school, sending students into panic as they were quickly ushered into the multi-purpose room. The air was filled with a palpable sense of fear, and whispers circulated about a man across the street. Eric, one of the students, overheard staff members discussing a dangerous situation involving a mentally unstable man who had barricaded himself inside his house, threatening to commit suicide and shoot anyone who approached. What made the situation even worse was that the man had reportedly been watching the students through the school windows, sending chills down everyone's spine. Rumors about the man started to spread, including claims that he was a registered sex offender, which added to the tension. A disturbing memory surfaced from Halloween, when a neighbor, Brandy, had witnessed the man standing at his window, cutting his arm and writing threatening messages in his own blood. Initially thought to be a twisted Halloween prank, the events took on a more sinister light when the lockdown was triggered, and students realized how close danger had come to their school. When the lockdown was finally lifted, students were escorted back to their classrooms, but the unease lingered. It was later revealed that the man had been arrested, but the experience left an indelible mark on the students and staff. The knowledge that the man had been so close, watching them from across the street, made everyone question how different things could have been if the situation had escalated further. A new computer intern working in the school's basement had settled into a quiet routine, managing the school's servers and enjoying the solitude away from the chaos of the school above. However, one afternoon, everything changed when he received a frantic call from the front office warning of an active shooter on campus. The intern was instructed to stay hidden and quiet. With no lock on the basement door, he turned off the lights, muted his phone, and tried to stay as still as possible, his heart racing in the oppressive silence. As the intern waited in fear, footsteps echoed down the stairs, and a figure entered the basement office. The intern held his breath, hiding under his desk, as the stranger quietly moved through the space. The tension was unbearable until the stranger spoke, calmly asking what was happening upstairs. The intern nervously responded, unsure if the man was part of the threat. The stranger claimed he was just there to pick up his son, but something felt wrong. The intern's phone buzzed with a chilling message. "There's a guy with a gun on campus. He shot Mr. Buckley. Don't come upstairs." Realization hit the intern as he recognized the man's red plaid shirt, matching the description of the shooter. Panic surged through him, and he made a break for the stairs just as a gunshot rang out. Barely escaping, the intern reached safety, while police arrived and apprehended the man who had tried to flee. The shooter's personal dispute with a teacher, Mr. Buckley, was later revealed, but the intern's terrifying encounter in the basement would haunt him, knowing he had been trapped with the very person responsible for the lockdown